This is why. Listen, this is why I don't make these videos. It's because it takes me so freaking long to get ready for them. I've started this video so many times because I don't know what happens, but every time I do, my phone runs out of storage, and now it looks like it's about to turn off, and I have to, you know what, I'm leaving this in the video because the whole reason, what I've been saying at the beginning of each video is it's taken me forever to make these because I'm always worried about, you know, I gotta have the right lighting and I have to have the right setup and can't have a crazy hair day like I'm having today. But you know what, we're going for this. And so I want to go through some of the different songs on my album for my daughter Annie that just came out a couple months ago, because I am very pleased with so I mixed and mastered this one, and this is the closest I've ever gotten to what I have been envisioning. Like, every time I listen back, I'm very happy, especially with how the percussion mixes in. So I'll go through the production and the mix on a lot of these tracks, hopefully. But let's start with one. One's better than nothing, right? And at the end of this video, I will play the whole song. So if you don't know the song, I mean, it's on Spotify and it's on, it's on my YouTube channel, so you can listen to it there. But I will also just play through it at the end in case you want to do that. Last thing I'll say, I've already been talking for 1:30. I hate when people do this, but hey, I'm going to do this. If you wouldn't mind, if you find this useful and it's helpful and all that, if you wouldn't mind just sharing my music somehow, that would be the most meaningful thing in the world. Okay, I'm going to shut up now. Here we go. Let's do this. From the top here. So we're starting out with, did I forget to screen record? No, I'm screen recording. Okay, great. So we got this kick and snare going, and what this is it is actually a loop from Splice. And if I remove all the processing on it here, it's this kick and snare and hi-hat loop, and I removed a ton of basically all the high end and a good bit of the low end. I split it up into kick and snare so I could process it separately, and it's very similar processing in terms of EQ on both the kick and the snare, with a lot of the high end removed, totally cut out, and then a good bit of the low end scooped. And then I think these are almost, okay, so on the kick, I removed a little more of the mids, and the snare just down at like 50 hertz in the low range. So there's that. And this is one of those sections that when I exported, listened on a ton of different things. So I'd always heard that, like you want to listen to your mixes in your car and whatever. But one of the places that I heard my music compared to the artist Sleepy Fish, love everything Sleepy Fish does. I had like an Amazon Echo Dot whatever speaker, which the sound quality it's not great, but I remember listening to his and listening to mine, and I was like, whoa, mine sounds like garbage. And so I kept, especially the kick and the snare, kept working at it until I was pretty happy with it. I don't think this acoustic has a whole lot going on. It's pretty basic. The piano is a wing upright from Keyscape. I'm trying to figure out what it has. Some bus 3, which is just some room reverb. That's one of the bus sends that I've turned up. That's really all that's there. Let's jump ahead here. Okay, so this is one of my, when I'm producing a track, and it's one of my go-tos, and it's what I would recommend if you are feeling like your track is almost kind of choppy, figuring out how to transition from one section to another, to me, is really key. So I always try to do things like this, which these are both, I exported them to audio files, but what both of these are is, I'm pretty sure they're both from Omnisphere. I just found swells, and I'm pretty sure they're both from Omnisphere, and I'll sweep them in and then usually cut them off. But this will be the last thing I do in the process, so I'll finish everything, and then I'll try to figure out how do we make this transition from here to here. And you don't need something like Omnisphere. It's just finding something, swelling the volume, and then bringing it down. It can really be anything. It could be something as simple as you play a chord on the piano, and you sort of individually play the notes, and you fade that up. Something as simple as that could be a transition. Okay. I've got this acoustic line tripled here. 1, 2. Some of them are MIDI, and then one of them is actually me. and it was because I liked one of them's from Omnisphere, one of them is from, I don't even know what the other one's from, but it was just like, I liked the texture of the MIDI ones and how that like added to what I was already playing. So the one that I was playing, I think was, that's the one that I played, and then I added these in. And then I played the electric here, which is Guitar Rig 5, this preset called Clean Cave, which is amazing. And then I added some more reverb, basic compression, OTT, which is a bad habit of mine of just slapping on everything, just a multi-band compressor that tightens everything up. And then pulled out some mids from it. Okay, there't that. One of the big things I got to talk about in a second is the percussion, obviously, because there's a whole lot going on. Really quick, I want to hit on these low piano octaves, though, because I had to do something kind of funky here. There was like a weird overtone that I don't know if you'll be able to hear, but on this second note, right here. Like the actual, that's a C sharp, and the actual like bass sub note of that like wasn't coming through. Like every time I would listen to it on different places, I was like, why can I not hear that? So what I did was I pulled up the ES2, really basic synth inside of Logic, and I did a sine wave, just so it's like the raw sub bass, and I played a C sharp, and then I faded it out. So you can literally see when it comes to this part, there's the sub bass, and then it's you would never know, but it's because it was missing that. I know this is getting extremely detailed. Some of you may not care about this stuff, but I will try to skip over that stuff quickly. Quickly hit on this before I get to percussion. I got 3 different atmospheric things happen. One is, they're all 3 from Splice, I think. One is Soda Can Fizz, because it's there. One is this fan, and then one are these trees, just so that it feels really thick and naturey. Hello, Pongo. Okay, let's talk about percussion. And really what I did for this, put one thing in, kept adding to it. So this kick, all of this is from Splice too. Yeah, once I put the kick in, I just took out some of the lows, some of the mids, and then boosted the highs. Because as I was listening, was noticing that those things were popping too much or not popping. Basic hat going. I'm going to just kind of solo through. Second hat there. Snare that's added. And then what I did was I just took some, I like searched Foley samples on Splice. So I just started putting in some random things to make it feel really organic. And so I added in this little scissors slide, and then there's a jacket next. And then a leaf, the leaf snare. I'll solo these next couple. And that that snare, I put Valhalla Room Reverb, I think. So I turned up bus 4, and bus 4 has Valhalla Room Reverb. Mix all the way up because it's in the bus. The depth all the way up. A lot of the highs cut, and then a super long decay time of 13 seconds so that it lasts forever. Because as I was listening to this, okay, without this, it's fine. But I knew I wanted there to be something that just, especially because that's where, hey, my cat is biting my speaker. Okay. I think that's pretty much everything. I mean, there's a couple other things here that I added. Again, I'll solo everything so you can hear it. But this was not like, I didn't have this planned from the beginning. I just started adding things in until like, and I knew I wanted this groove. Like I knew I wanted that, but everything else was just sort of like, oh, let's try this here. And then white noise symbol, where's this? I guess not anywhere. Oh, it's at the end. Yep. I like to use white noise for my like crash cymbals a lot of the time because they're a lot more subtle. Like white noise that fades in either filtering down or in volume or both. I think we got pretty much I'll just really quickly hit on, this is going to be a longer video. I think I'm always a little bit worried too about keeping it short, but we're here. You know, we're having this kind of hair day, so let's just go. When I was producing this track, the first thing I started with was I was sitting on the couch over there and I came up with this line, and so I did that first, and then I added in, you know, the drums and the atmosphere, and then I was like, okay, it would be great to have after that line. So I knew I wanted there to be a lot of space. Like I knew I wanted this line to go and then for it to just kind of ring out. And that's where that came in. There's one other thing happening here, which is our acoustic drone, and I gotta find where that is. Right here. Again, I knew I wanted something just kind of raw and organic, keeping, like, going through the whole track. I don't think there's anything else we need to see in this first section. Oh, I added this little clock here to kind of separate section 2. That's something else that I really try to do is, like, if you have a section you like, trying to decide what do I need to not be afraid to repeat and just add something else, and what do I need to, especially in this style of music, which is like, if it was pop music, you want to tease and then like make them want more, but like this is like, let them sit in it for a while. Here's some more swells. All of these I think are from Omnisphere. Just like pads, like search through the pads, and you can search through the pads in anything you want. Then I got this metal swell, which, yeah, I don't think I really did anything to any of these. Again, that was one of the last things I added. Then I knew I had this B section line that I wanted to do. Put these chords underneath it. Again, that was the next thing I did after I finished that first part. I was like, okay, I have an idea for the B section. And then I went back and did the intro, and then I went back and did the ending, and I filled in everything else. So I added in this pad, which is, I'm almost positive from Omnisphere, but I bound, no, it's not, it's from Massive X. Look at that, which is a Native Instruments synth, and I put reverb on it, really big, but not a lot of decay time, and then this plugin called Kickstart, which is like automatic, like ducking to give it this pumping feel. It's like ducking on the downbeats, which you can sidechain much easier than, I mean, this is a much easier way to do it. Anybody can sidechain really with anything. It's just activating a compressor with another signal. I'm going to not do a great job explaining it, so look up a video on sidechaining if you don't know what that is. And then I also have this synth from another Native Instruments. Well, it's a Native Instruments offers it. I think it's a different company that makes it, or Output. It's called Signal, and it's just this piano synth going underneath it. And then we have this bass. I played some of the bass on this album, but this is not me. This is a Rickenbacker bass from Native Instruments as well. And I think it sounds great. And then afterward, I sort of sculpted, there was too much high end, so like that just feels really, for what I was looking, I wanted a real bass sound, but again, this is more of on the like lo-fi end. It's definitely not strictly lo-fi, but like on the lo-fi end of things. And so I took off the high end, and then it was really heavy in the like sub area. So I scooped some of that. And then what else did I do here? Again, all the piano you hear in this is from Keyscape, Spectrasonics, their plugin Keyscape. And this is just doubling that line with octaves. There's some of that bus 4, which is that Valhalla verb. And I used a filter. I turned off every other section of it and just filtered off some of the high end, some of the high frequencies from it. What else do we have here? I know there's a lot going on here. I'm trying to go quick. It's everything here. And here's my vocals, which I tuned a ton. And I sort of have this preset here that just puts like compression. Again, this OTT multi-band compressor, just a little bit of it. My voice is very like low, mid, heavy, and so I pretty much, I removed a lot of that, and then a gate, and then de-esser, which the de-esser is there from the preset because it is useless. I'm not seeing any S's. And then same thing for this high vocal. So when I was producing this, just again, I'm trying to cover all of the bases of, we're at 15 minutes. You know what? Again, we're here. We're in this. When I was producing this track, I did the ABC section. So I did that first section, and then I had the idea for this, and then I was like, okay, it needs to keep this kind of energy, but we should have a different line. And so then I spent a while coming up with a bunch of different melodies. If you've seen my melody writing video, then you know kind of how I do that. I sat here for a long time and played with a bunch of different ones. And then once I got something on, I think I did it on piano first, and then I deleted it and did it on electric, which was on probably this Strat back here, straight into my Scarlett 2i2 interface and Guitar Rig 5, that clean cave preset. There's that white noise cymbal there. That clock, which is kind of acting as the hi-hats. I think we've talked about everything. Yeah, I think there's everything here. I can just quickly fly through this. All the stuff from the beginning, and then I didn't like time quantize any of this piano stuff at the end here. There's a pad that's going that's not supposed to be going. I don't know how. We're figuring this out together, live in the moment. Yeah, I'm gonna mute that because I don't know why that's going. So for this piano patch, like I didn't put this in a bus, I just put it straight on there. A good bit of the reverb. Generally, I think it's better. I've been trying to be more disciplined about like putting all of my reverbs into a bus, and then if I want something to have reverb in it, I turn on that bus channel. But sometimes I'm like, no, you know what, I'm going to slap it directly on here. Yeah, that's pretty much it there. Everything else you've heard. Oh, and I love that. This is me loving my own music, but just let it slide for a second. So originally there was a lot of space, but I wanted it to kind of all like feel like it was like the melody was just not necessarily with a ton of booming energy, but like that there was a lot being said, to let you know that like this is the final part. I don't know if it makes sense what I'm saying, but like this was such a impacting part for me. Like when I hit this, I was like, yes, because it was said musically, like it was speaking how I wanted it to speak. I might sound crazy right now. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, I'm gonna let it play from the beginning, and I'm gonna stop the video. The last thing I'll say, I think I said this at the beginning. I tried recording this several times, so I don't know what I said and what I didn't say. Thank you for listening. It means a lot. Thank you for checking this out. Some of you have been leaving comments. I just want to say, if you've left a comment, those are so meaningful to me. They keep me going. They're really encouraging. And any way that you can share my music, again, I think I did say that. Any way you can share my music is the most support you could possibly give me. Thanks. I'm going to play from the beginning. Here we go. Bye.